Hey guys, I'm back. It's been a while, again, but we're back and we're on EU4 because I promised a while back to a guy in the comments section of the how to get out of debt guide that I would make a estates guide, and couple months later, here we are. And I'm gonna go over estates and, well, just how you should, use them. Alright, so we're gonna start with something very simple here. Crownlands, right? If you're a duchy, right? You want to stay at like pretty good crownlands, maybe like 15. At like 15's the lowest I would go if I was a duchy, because you'll get a lot of autonomy debuffs and it'll suck a lot, right? If you're a kingdom and empire, you can sorta forget about autonomy, as long as you remember to go here and reduce your autonomy and all that. Then it can work out pretty well going low autonomy. But at the start of the game, you will go low autonomy anyways for one very simple reason. These privileges right here: religious state, primacy of the nobility, and land of commerce. Why? Because these privileges are really overpowered. They give you +1 mana dependent on the state. So, you can read these on your own, obviously. In my opinion, I would go for the clergy one and the noble one, prioritizing the noble one before clergy. And obviously you still want to get land of commerce, but if you have no crownland left for some reason, then obviously go for the other two first. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to go over the estates, talk about their privileges, and I'm going to fill them out for you, so at the end of the video you can see them. And, well, yeah, it's just supposed to be a guide for that. So, starting with the clergy, we're going to take a religious estate here. We do not need clergy land rights, we're not that big yet. This one, because I'm not going to unpause in this game, we're going to take it now, but say I was actually going to play this game out, right? Then I would boost my stability first, and then take this, because it has that plus 10% stab cost. You want this admin advisor cost, you always want to run advisors. Oversight by clergy, I like it just for the loyalty, it can be pretty useful. Church sanctions, I like that one a lot. Because at the start of the game, you're going to be Catholic if you're playing in Europe, probably, looking at you, Bohemia. And just getting that extra papal influence is very valuable, because churches are going to be making you a lot of money at the start, so you're going to build a lot of them. Religious diplomats, it's pretty good. We want to take that. Development of temples, it's a must-have if you're playing MP. That local dev cost is really good. Plus, it gives you more loyalty than it does influence, which is always a nice bonus. Now, there are other ones that you're going to want here. Religious diplomats, of course. Religious culture, I don't value it very much, although it's okay. It gives some manpower, some production, but it's not a must-have. Expansion is zealotry. It would be very good for us. Why? Because we're going to be eating into Novgorod, Muscovy, Lithuania. So for a nation like Sweden, I would take expansionist zealotry after you gain independence from Denmark. Same goes for Hungary, any nation that's going to be fighting a different faith. You take expansionist zealotry. It's going to be really good when the Protestant Reformation comes around, and you can, use it more efficiently. But if you wanted to get backers for the Independence War, I would take religious diplomats, which is what we're going to take here. Now, you may notice as well that we have just enough influence and loyalty equilibrium so that we can revoke privileges come Age of Absolutism. That's a must-have. Including seizing land during not during the Age of Absolutism. I like to get it on the lead up to Age of Absolutism. So maybe, 50 years before the Age of Absolutism, I'll start chipping away at estate privileges. Okay, so moving on to the nobles. Obviously, mana privilege. Increased levies. It can be pretty good. It is pretty. It's really good. I'm not going to say it can be pretty good. It is really good. problem with it is that it exempts them from seizing Crownland, but because we do want that manpower recovery speed, if we were going to go to war with Denmark, I would take it now and seize Crownlands like that. So it wouldn't take any loyalty from these guys, so we won't suffer at all from that. Mill advisor cost. Most important advisor is the mill advisor, so always take that. Supremacy over the crown. It's an interesting one because estates can ask you for a privilege whenever, not privilege, a agenda whenever. So even if you're on cooldown, you can get an agenda going. So I like it more than right of council, so we're gonna take it here. Another thing, never give out these sort of things right here, where it gives control of a trade good to the state, because trade goods are extraordinarily valuable. Not only do they give you income from production, but they also factor into your trade node, so they're especially valuable. Never grant out these privileges. I would rather take negative 20 tax modifier for the rest of the game than grant out this privilege right here. Expand the fortifications. I like it a lot because it gives more equilibrium than it does influence. And while this one can be nice right here for that prestige decay, I personally think noble officer rights is better for most people, because getting that general, not having to spend that mana privilege, means you will get Tech 4 pretty quickly, so that'll help you fight your battles much better. Moving on to the burghers. Because I'm not continuing this game, I'm going to take Land of Commerce now, even though it would cause some problems for the autonomy. So we're going to take it now. Patron of the Arts. Perfect, as always. If you have a bad heir, you disinherit him before taking Patron of the Arts. That way you can get the extra prestige. Commercial Advisory Board, give me that Diplo advisor cost. Beautiful. Indebted to the burghers, very nice at the start of the game. Why? Because you need that cash. You need that extra money, so you can actually fight a war against, maybe Denmark, or for any other nation. It's good for just doing what you need to do. It's also good if you're trying to build up your nation. You take it indebted to the burghers because it's pretty much free money, and you spend that money on your nation, churches, manufactories, workshops, build them all up, get your nation built up. It'll give you more money in the long run. Now going down, much quicker, skipping a thing, I like this one. Promoted Burghers Bookkeeping. It's very valuable, and the guy in the comment section of the Get Out of Debt guide mentioned this. Why? Because that interest per annum adds up very quickly, minus 0.5 at its max, which admittedly you're never going to get them to your max without crippling your nation, but it's still it's still a nice thought. And even that 0.15 that we're getting right now from them being on 30%, that's really nice. So it's a must-have, especially if you're going for a long game. Now, a thing to avoid to the end on the burghers: never take this. That all power cost means you are losing 5% of your mana that you spend for the rest of the game. That's a no-go, right? We're not doing that. Now, one last look over. This can be okay. I'm not especially enamored by it, especially because it gives far more influence than it does loyalty. I don't like this one that much either. All of these are meh, except maybe this one, depending on who you ask, but even then, I'm not a fan, so I'm gonna say free enterprise for that extra loyalty. Puts us to 67, meaning when they're at their max equilibrium, we'll be getting that dev cost modifier, which is very nice. Now, going for your diet, there are some good ones. This one's really nice for being Sweden. You go to war to get your independence. It'll give you a general. That's really nice. Yeah, I would say this one is best for us at the moment. There's not really much else I can really say about the estates, besides what privileges are good. You can cut down on which privileges you use, of course. Like, the nobles, not nobles, the clergy, they don't need to have oversight by clergy. Maybe it's a little bit overkill, but it's still there. I still gave it out. Womp womp if you disagree. Now, the nobles, they are very strong right now, so that might turn out to be a problem in the future, but by that point, you should, hopefully get a couple events or something that weakens the nobles, get an event that gives you more loyalty, complete an estate agenda for them like this, giving more loyalty, and hopefully that'll give you the amount that you need to take a privilege away come Age of Absolutism. Other than that, I don't really have much else to say, so I think that wraps up today's video. It's a pretty easy thing to go over for estates. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching.